joining us live for an analysis of Nigeria's performance at the 2024 Women African Cup of Nations is sports presenter and freelancer Itaro Jimmy. You're welcome to Panorama.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, Itaro, the Super Falcons have once again proven their dominance in African women's football. Yeah. What do you think was different or special about the 2024 squad?
I would say the experience, the injection of the younger player, the set of players that came in, and the determination. I mean, this squad actually lost out in the last edition. The Super Falcons lost out in the last edition in the semi-finals. They were actually knocked out by these same Moroccans in the semi-finals. They played a 1-1 draw, went into penalties, and of course Morocco won that and then progressed to the final, while the Super Falcons played Zambia in the third place encounter, and of course they finished fourth in the last edition. And going into this very edition, they knew what was at stake. They knew that they had to redeem themselves. They knew what they wanted, and that was to get the 10th title. Don't forget, it was Mission X before they even, went into to Morocco. Mission X it was, and it was very, very, very successful. That was one of the things they had in mind. They wanted to, make sure that they put out a statement and to make sure that Africa remembers the reason why they are called the Super Falcons and the 9-time champions. It's not a fluke for them to have won it 9 times and now they're the 10-time champions. It shows that truly they are indeed the Super Falcons.
All right, many doubted the team after their World Cup exit, yet they bounced back impressively. What does this say about the team's mentality and the role of coaching?
It shows that they are quite determined, they are courageous, they are resilient. They have what we call the Niger spirit. Very, 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 Nigerians, we have that resilient spirit. We don't give up, we fight, we push until there is no way. And the way the Super Falcons came back in that game tells you of a true Nigerian spirit. They never say die spirit. Even the young players that, came onto the team for the very first time, could attest to this. They had the opportunity. They had everything on the table, and they just said, you know what, until the 90th minute. Rashida Tajibade, the captain, when they came out in the 45th, in the second 45 minutes, told them, we still have 45 minutes to play. If you still have 45 minutes to play, it means you have everything. 45 minutes is a long time, and they showed us that really they had the determination, and that's what pushed them through.
Now, during the match, talking about officiating now and the role of VAR, because the second penalty that was cancelled for Morocco, my heart was inside my throat and I was about to what's going on? So for the officiating and the role of VAR, how would you assess this?
I would say that in the entire tournament, those that actually manned the VAR, station did a brilliant job. They did a fantastic job all through the tournament, not just against, not just in the game between Morocco and Nigeria. They did a brilliant job all through the tournament. That penalty wasn't supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to be. And the referee had to listen. When it took a while, just like you just mentioned, your heart was in your mouth. Everybody stood still, and they kept shouting. It wasn't a penalty. It was ball to head. It wasn't intentional, and you could see that. I love the fact that the referee, went back to listen or probably cross-check with the VAR officials, and eventually found out that it wasn't a penalty at all. Actually, where I was actually watching that game, well, if they award this penalty, it will actually break the spirit of the girls because they fought back, and giving a penalty that we all think is not deserving at this point would only break their spirit. I love the fact that the referee was able to go back and then listen and go through and look for herself and realizing that it wasn't a penalty to cancel it. It gave a very good balance to that game. It brought credibility to officiating of African women's football. And at the end of the day, I don't want to sound, be gender biased, but I love the fact that that decision was actually made by an African, woman referee. At the end of the day, it shows a lot about the growth in women's football in Africa, not just in Europe. We keep, making references to Europe, but I love the fact that, the center referee was an African, and this, played out well, and the officiating was quite commended. But not just from, a fan's perspective, but even from notable, football lovers across the globe.
All right, the VAR actually was a lifesaver, and it would have been a different ball game if the VAR was not in use. Moving on, Itoro, what impact do you think this victory will have on the development of women football in Nigeria, especially at the grassroots level?
Honestly, it will have a great impact. This is the time for, bodies. I will go first and foremost to brands, to come into the football space. I know when we talk about sport, we keep saying, oh, football is the only export. When we talk about sports in Nigeria, we say football is the only export we have. But looking at the victory that the Super Falcons have brought into to this nation, it will promote, a whole lot of things. If this is the time brands will should actually get up and invest, in grassroots sports. Go through to, schools, go to there are academies out there that are grooming young footballers. Sometimes all they need is that support. This is the time I would encourage brands to jump into it and take charge. Go in, invest. If you're going to say, okay, I'm sponsoring 5 players from your academy, we're going to take charge of whatever it is, whatever kits they need, whatever it is. This is the time for them to jump in, because really, football in Nigeria is growing. Women's football in Nigeria is growing. We've been saying this is growing, is growing, is growing. It has grown to a stage where we want people to take Nigerian women football seriously. It is that time for you to invest in Nigerian women football. The best time was yesterday. Today, or should I say now, is the next best time. You should come into, the growth of Nigerian women's football. It will bring a whole lot. It will, actually instill discipline, actually bring in young players from schools on the street. If there are young girls out there and you see them and they want to, get into sport, this can be a lifesaver. Taking them off the street, taking them off illicit, gathering, and giving them a livelihood. You can actually do this. I'm talking to you. Yes, you're looking at me right now. Honestly, you can actually do this. Talk to a young girl out there who you feel has a potential and invest in them. With what they've seen, with everything they hear about the Super Falcons, I can bet you that every girl on the street that loves playing football will tell you, I want to be like a Rashida Tajibade, I want to be like an Echejini, I want to be like Esther Okoronkwo. We have lots of young players that were brought onto this team. Nobody knew them from anywhere. No one knew them. You can be that next person tomorrow. You can be investing in the next big star in the Super Falcons tomorrow. So I want to encourage, young brands out there to not run away. Don't shy away from sport. Don't run away from Nigerian women football. It's the next best thing you can, invest in going forward.
All right. Many thanks, Itoro, Jimmy, for your contributions and Panorama. And I think I have to let you go because you've been celebrating maybe since yesterday, and it's obviously showing, in your voice. And I don't want you to lose your voice totally. So it's been a wonderful time with you.
Honestly, I've been celebrating since yesterday, and thank you so much for having me. You can tell my voice is, is the excitement, is the joy. Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much. And moving on, President Bola Tinubu congratulates the Super Falcons, expressing